Greetings. So, I just want to talk real quick about alignment and the spiritual journey from my own perspective, right? Because everybody's is different. So, I'm the type of person that I would say for most of the time I am in my masculine logic energy. For the most part, there are instances where I lean into the feminine side of new ideas and creation and flow, but I would say that my default mode is pretty much masculine and logic. And so within my spiritual journey, coming into it in my default mode, it doesn't always feel very progressive, if that makes sense. So when we talk about expecting things to look a certain way or to come a certain way or to happen a certain way, the spiritual journey is not like that. And obviously I know that, right? I've been on my journey several years now. But, part of the shadow work and part of the healing, the growth, and the ascension, I'm learning that, it's layers to this. So, yes, I know that on the surface, right? But because of how I am programmed, it's layers that I have to get through before some things really integrate, right? And so with that, I'll say, me personally, I feel like I've not made I'll say I used to feel like I've not made the progress that I would have liked. What I will say now is I know that I'm making the progress that I need to in divine timing. I trust that, and obviously, as I always say, nothing's for nothing. So, do I know that there could have been more progress to be made had I made different choices? Yes, obviously. But it was a reason why I didn't make those choices, why I have not made certain choices, because there are still lessons that I'm learning over and over again. Some of them have me being in a cycle, in a loop, but others being I'm uncovering those layers, like I said. So I may have gotten through layer 1 of this choice that I made, and now, okay, I understand I need to make a different choice. Great. Layer 2, I made a different choice, and that worked out for me, or it didn't, but I recognize, okay, there's more to uncover, there's more to learn here. So all that to kind of say, it may not go as fast as you think. It may not look how you will expect it to look. Expect the unexpected is what I can say, Don't try to logically make sense of the journey. Don't try to logically and sequentially, don't try to write your journey in a sequence. Okay, I'm learning these practices. I'm learning these tools. And so this is what the journey is going to look. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because I'm telling you, it ain't going to be like that. And it might be like that for you. But really what I'm saying is, be curious. Be present. Yes, we are the co-creators and we are writing this story. But again, we are co-creators. So we're not the only author here. We're co-creating with Source. And Source has his own pen and is going to write what it is. So just be curious and enjoy the unraveling of the process is what I have to say. And then just to give a little bit more about alignment, again, I'm a logical type of person. So me, I like to plan my day out. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to get done. And I would tell you for a good while now, that works for me like 50-60% of the time, I'm guessing. But what I'm saying is it don't really work for me all the time. I could plan a whole day out and that day is not going to go how I planned it for a couple of reasons. One, my sense of time, like I tend to think I can do more or should be able to get more done, or things will take less time than they take. And then the other part is just alignment, and I'm learning to trust and recognize where sometimes just things aren't aligned. You might have thought that that's what you wanted to do, but it's just the energy, your spirit is not aligned for you to do that today at that moment. For example, I planned this morning an hour or so for me to handle some administrative business tasks. I did 2 or 3 of them, and then I went back to look at my list, and every time I completed one of those tasks and went back to look at my list, I was just like, I don't see myself doing this right now. And especially the last time, like, okay, I did the things that made sense for me to do, that felt like, okay, I need to do this, I'll do this. But then looking at what was left, it was just like, I'm not really feeling that. And so instead of trying to force it, like sometimes I will, I was like, nope, I'm gonna go and do this other thing, and this feels more aligned. This is what I was feeling more called to do, more resonant to do. And so I am just trusting that. Sometimes that message is plain and clear. Sometimes not so much. I think the more that we pay attention to, the more that we slow down and pay attention to the energy of how we feel, the more clear it will become. And again, I know that I'm saying that, but even for me, it's some layers that I gotta get through for me to really integrate that. So sometimes I catch that and it's cool. Sometimes I don't and I force it. And I'm just learning and finding my balance in that. So if you take nothing from this video, I want you to take that. One, your spiritual journey is going to look exactly how it needs to for you. It's not going to look like anybody else's, and it may not even look like how you thought or how you planned. Allow it to be. Allow creation to develop you in the way that you need to be developed for your own ascension process. And 2, follow what your body feels. Now, obviously, you might not always be able to make a different choice, as you're on this journey. But in the moments that you can, recognize where something doesn't feel aligned with you and move accordingly. I invite you to look at things happening in your day today and see how these messages apply, and let me know. Have a glorious, joyful day, and we will talk soon. Love you. Bye.